Gigantic G Zombie here, currently pondering to the point of an aneurysm. I hope you're having a good day. I am sorry for not uploading this on Monday. That was the plan, but I'm gonna settle for uploading this on Tuesday, and yeah, I'm gonna try to keep these like talking videos uploaded early in the week. That way, it's like a kind of a little push forward, a little encouragement, or something to think about during the week, so that I don't know, it just helps you through the week or helps you through the day. Either way, it works. I want to address one thing real quick. I want to apologize for not getting that Warhammer X Helldiver video out. I pretty much did two things. I procrastinated the grind for the Space Marine 2 cosmetic, and that cosmetic is the cape. And I also completely underestimated how hard that grind was because you basically have to get 50 absolute missions completed. And before there was a patch, it was 100 absolute missions completed. So I really underestimated that grind. But I want to get the video out soon. So I'm just going to say screw the cape. And I will start figuring out that video at the end of the week. I've actually finally come up with a new name for this series that I'm going to be doing every week where I just talk about stuff. Uh, drum roll, please. Uh, maybe you didn't hear me. Drum roll, please. Okay, dude, you were supposed to do a drum roll. Like that was the part where you add the drum. What do you mean we were out of the budget already? How is that possible? Didn't the Destiny 2 video do well enough? Like, I did the clickbait title and whatever. Okay. The name is The Gathering Horde. That is the name. The freaking editor ruined the whole moment, man. Ruined my whole groove. But yes, the name of this series shall be The Gathering Horde. And the reason why I name it like that is because the channel's name is Gigantic G Zombie, and I wanted the name to be somewhat zombie based, and I thought of The Walking Dead, where like how the Shamblers aren't really dangerous on their own, but they start bumping into under other zombies, and then the size just starts growing bigger and bigger over the years to the point where they're like this massive horde, and that's like an unstoppable force because there's just so many of them. And that's what I'm thinking about these videos. It's gonna be like me, the one shambler zombie walking around over the years, and then eventually a viewer bumps into the videos that I make, and then it encourages them to stay around, spread the news, and then more people look at these videos, and more people start thinking about them. And I also use like the other half of that title, gathering, as like a gathering of the people to just kind of listen to me talk and think about these topics that I come up with. Again, this is heavily inspired by uh, the YouTuber Bricky, where he does his own uh, like Monday topic of the week thing, uh, where he literally just talks to his community, and I want to do something similar. So yeah, there is the name, The Gathering Horde. I kind of like it the more I say it, but we'll see how it goes. The topic that I had in mind for this video is simply meeting new people. Now, the reason why I want to talk about that is because it is something that I've struggled with my whole life, and I am starting to realize just how much it is getting in the way of things I want to do. That being like uh, YouTube, it doing any sort of advertising for the Discord server, the Hunter's Tavern. Always got to add a shameless advertisement. You know, uh, wink, wink. Link below. Go on and join us. But anyway, Discord, and then improving the Eternal Empire, and just doing any other cool things in other Discord servers and other games because I'm just too scared to meet new people. And it it kind of I'm kind of ashamed of it because it's not like I haven't done it before, but like it's been so long that I've forgotten how to do it. Like I've genuinely forgotten how to do it. So I wanted to go over the few times where I've went above and beyond. I wouldn't say above and beyond, but I like pushed myself to meet new people, and I started hanging out with new people. The first example that I'll use for this is something I've talked about in my previous video when I was talking about Destiny 2, is meeting the Destiny 2 clan. Cade's Misfits. I'll say the freaking name. Cade's Misfits. I don't actually know if the clan's still around today. I'm not going to lie, but I'm not going to go digging for it. But, yeah, reason why I say that is because me and my friends did leave the clan for specific reasons that I won't get into, but uh, just to make clear, I hold no grudges. Like, I don't, I have nothing but really good memories from that time. Like, uh, going into the Cage Misfits is where I met Hulk and Jay, and they're like the two friends that I have kept with me for 6 years. Yeah, 6 years. It's been a long ass time since I got into Cade's Misfits. But uh, yeah, when I went into that clan, uh, like that was truly one of the moments where I actually did eventually say, screw it, I'm just gonna wing it, and I'm just gonna see what happens. If it ends up bad, I'll just leave and I'll stick to doing LFGs. It actually ended up being one of the best decisions in my life because not only in a practical sense did I get a bunch of very reliable teammates, but I also had a just a really fun time. All right, the people there were awesome, and it was always fun uh, signing up for raids and like nightfalls. Actually, I didn't do many nightfalls, but it was mostly raids, and then eventually when dungeons came out, it was dungeons and any other, especially PvP. I remember the private PvP matches we would have, and I would act like an absolute lunatic. All right, I still remember my how to be a psychopath video that I made, where I just like I heard the smallest laugh and I like lost my fucking mind in bloodlust, and I genuinely freaked everyone in the lobby out, and I hold that memory close to the chest because that was just really I take pride in scaring the entire lobby just with how crazy I acted. But yeah, that clan, uh, those were some great people, and I obviously still know some of them today. It was one of the first instances where I actually got to go meet people and work with people. Like when you raid with people, you tend to practice communicating with them and learning how they play and act. And, it's very obvious stuff, but you know, when you do raids, you tend to practice working with them. Cage Misfits is also the first time where I actually started grinding for day one raids, which usually I do not do because it is like so so much intense grinding. Like you gotta be like perfect with your builds and all that, and that always stresses me out. I don't ever like doing that too much, but every now and then when it was feasible, I actually did prep for the day one raid, and it was Cade Misfits that did that. There was no other clan that I was with that actually pushed me to do that. To be fair, Cade Misfits was also the only clan that I actually stayed in and constantly participated in. Any other clan was just a failed attempt to replace that. Truly, it was. Now, coming from the Destiny 2 clan, Hulk also had GTA 5 group called the Crew, or I think it was the Psycho Crew. I think it was just called the Crew. But as you would expect with any GTA 5 group, uh, they were a bunch of psychopaths, and I think that is the most accurate description I can give them. They're big honcho. I wouldn't say big honcho, but like I always saw him as the big honcho. His name is Psycho. That is that. It really does say enough about him. He is genuinely fucking crazy in every aspect. And this is where I met some of the most colorful people in every aspect of that word, both literal and figurative with their personality. I won't get into it because I honestly, if I were to make an in-depth insight onto that group, probably have an essay for each person because like there's a lot to unpack with these people, but also not in a smart way. It's just not. It would be more like a list of war crimes they have done to each other, and a list of even more war crimes they've done to everyone else outside of the group. So I was lucky to be inside the group and be taught the ways to fight in GTA 5. And I must also admit, for them being so good at PvP, they were also very welcoming. Uh, in the game. So, I must give them that credit, how psycho, despite how crazy they were, uh, despite the absolutely vile language you would hear on the GTA 5 comms, they were welcoming at the end of the day. The crew is awesome, but the crew is also unbearable sometimes. There will be days where I would sit in the freaking PlayStation chat and it would just be an hour of nonstop bickering and fighting over like the most petty shit, and I'm just sitting there like, oh, like I could feel my brain melting. Now I shit talk about this group, but at the same time it was a genuinely a fun time because uh, it was very exciting. I think that's the best way to explain it. Because of their psychotic nature, almost every day was some random ass fight or some stupid ass shenanigans happening, even while we were trying to do the most basic of missions. So, yeah, being with that group was an exciting time. Now, this next group that I'm going to talk about, I'm going to talk about very shortly and very vaguely because this is one of the instances where I made friends with these people, and I stayed friends with them for I think 2 years. So it was it wasn't like a fluke, or at least to me it wasn't a fluke, but I spent a lot of time with these people, and eventually the friendship just did not work out, and I parted ways with them. Now, this was another branch from the Destiny 2 clan, where this was a this wasn't Hulk or Jay that introduced me to these people. It was actually another person who I will not name because I do not, I don't want to defame these people at all. I still have a high respect for them despite uh, the friendship not working out. Uh, Pretty much, this was an instance where, like, over the long period of time, I started hanging out with these people less and less because, there was actually one person that I specifically did not want to hang out with less and less because, like, I started asking a question with myself where uh, I started getting really stressed out, like hanging out with these people because every time I would go in there, I'd just be kind of afraid to talk to them in general because everything I would say would just immediately be like either shot down or more like I would say something and like I'd just be immediately wrong, called stupid, and uh, like basically be told in a way like why would I even remotely think that, like why did I even mention it like that, and I should never have mentioned it like that. That's pretty much the vibe that I had for many conversations in that group. Now, this was something that built up again over 2 years. So eventually it got to the point where I hung out with them less and less, and they definitely took notes. I keep saying they when it was actually he, but there are other people that were in agreement with this person, and I say it as if they were all like abusers or something. No, this is, in my opinion, I think it was more. There was obviously a big part from me not communicating these things because again, I already don't like talk to people very much. So me talking about an issue that I may or may not have with this person is already kind of reaching for me. But eventually, I had to ask the question of like, if these people are my quote unquote friends, why am I so stressed out to meet them? Shouldn't your friends be the people you relax around? And those people were Hulk and Jay. I feel relaxed around those people, but I didn't feel relaxed around this group. So eventually, I had to ask myself that question and had many thoughts of just ending the friendship. And at some point, I think I think I went like 1 or 2 weeks without doing the one. Like if it got to the point where I would only visit them once a week, and I would extend that break even further. And eventually, when there was a 2 week break, I came to eventually hang out with them, and I was kicked out of the message group. And I could have easily contacted the person who most likely kicked me out, but at that point, I just didn't care to try anymore. I took that more as an excuse to just leave, just separate entirely. I blocked the person and the other people associated with that person completely off my list as a whole. So, like, I just ended things in complete totality. And, yeah, so it may sound like we ended on bad blood, but, like, technically we didn't because there was no big argument. There wasn't, like, any lashing or gnashing of teeth. I'm sure, I'm like 90% sure he's probably shit talking me now. And frankly, I don't care. I do not care. I only mention this story simply because this was a lesson on my part, where you have to ask yourself that question. If that question does pop up, of like, uh, if these are people your friends, why are you so stressed around them? That's when you should really reevaluate what you're doing, because at the end of the day, whether it's your fault or theirs, or neither, that's just something you need to resolve immediately. That's not something you should let build up for that long, as I did. So yeah, definitely make sure that those people are actually your friends and don't gaslight yourself into thinking that that they're your they're actually friendly towards you and not the other way around. But yeah. Now this final example is one that I hold dear to myself because it is my own personal project, and that is the Eternal Empire of Ark Survival Evolved and now Ark Survival Ascended. The Eternal Empire was again another like uh, mess around and find out project where I just made the name. I thought it was cool, and I started playing around in Ark Survival Evolved uh, in the unofficial servers. The entire concept of the Eternal Empire came from the fact that we played in an unofficial server that had absolutely absurd stats. And like, if you played the game, uh, you'll know that tech armor is extremely rare, but in this server, tech armor was just a common thing in normal drops. So, like, you could just go to a drop and have a whole new set of tech armor. It was like really easy to find. It would actually become a daily chore to just go hunting for this armor. So the reason why I mention all that is because the Eternal Empire is supposed to be like a role play of a bunch of gods trying to conquer the arcs, and that means like conquering the creatures, building structures, and building the empire stronger and stronger. Now, in my effort to do that, that would obviously require me to recruit new people, and I did meet quite a few people during this effort, including again more people from the Destiny 2 clan, and actually I think I played with them before I even made the Eternal Empire. So again, that Cade's Misfits really did help me find a bunch of people to play with in a lot of different sectors. But yeah, the Eternal Empire was my attempt at uh, recruiting new people and taking the lead in a group. I wasn't the sidebar, I wasn't like the helper, I was the leader of a group, and it was my attempt at doing that. And despite my failure to keep it going, I say that as if it's dead. I refuse to let it die. It's more stagnating, and I need to figure out how to change that later, but that's not what this is about. It was my first attempt at leading, and to be honest, for my first attempt, I did pretty well because I like to say I was not an arrogant asshole, and I tried staying humble and helpful towards all the people that I recruited, both the experts and the new people. And it was because of this effort that I met JT. JT was one of the only friends that I became close with that was outside of Destiny 2. He and I have never played Destiny 2. I met him first through Arc because I recruited him into the Eternal Empire. I still remember the first time he was recruited because with the name of our tribe, he thought we were like an elite group, and I had to reassure him like, hey, we're not that elite. I am still willing to teach you things, okay? I still remember having that conversation. And it kind of gave me a little pride, that people actually took the name that seriously. I'm like, hey, okay, that's kind of cool. But, I also had to calm him down. I'm like, hey, don't, don't have a panic attack, all right? You are welcome here, all right? I am willing to teach you things, all right? I'm not going to withhold knowledge, all right? But, yeah, I'm really glad that I met him. He's a very considerate person. Uh, he can be wild in his own way, but honestly, that's just a benefit to his own personality, and that he's one of the many great boons in my attempt of making the Eternal Empire thrive. And he was also really helpful in the Eternal Empire too, so there's that as well. But it wasn't sunshine and rainbows with the people that I met. There were like two instances of perversion inside of the Eternal Empire, and I had to deal with both of them. Yeah, it got that level of weird in in my time in the Eternal Empire. But I'm glad it's only two and not any more than that, because other than that, yeah. Other than that, the people I've met were actually really cool. The Eternal Empire was also because I was taking the lead for the tribe. It was also the first time I did trade with people. So I actually had to make relationships outside of the tribe, which was really cool, and is why the people involved in the Eternal Empire liked it so much because we actually socialized with a lot of people on the server. So it actually felt like I was playing politics in our Survival Evolved. It was pretty fun, but also is trying to build that up again. That me kind of forgetting how to meet new people is making me struggle with that because I can't really do that again if I don't go out there and meet new people. But yeah, the Eternal Empire has taught me a lot about being more independent and taking the lead on things. And it's not like I'm constantly trying to be the leader or anything like that. But there are some instances where if I have more not like or knowledge on a game, then I try to help teach like my experience in the Eternal Empire has helped me teach my peers about the things that I know, and that's pretty much what I've learned from the Eternal Empire is learning how to teach my friends what they don't know, and not an arrogant way, but in a helpful way. That's not condescending, and that I don't try to be condescending with it. But yeah, these are the main stories that I have of basically going out there to meet new people, and of course, like most of it was actually pretty damn good and pretty fun in their own right. And I in some and one of them wasn't as good, but even that one I still have good memories from, and actually learned a lot from that group up to like in a good way, like not like if you're feeling bad about a friendship, not that lesson, but like there are actually a lot of things that I did with that group. Like I was not a D&D person until I met that said group that I had a controversy with. Like I was not a tabletop person until I met those people. And now I play turn. I'm starting to get more into turn-based games. I like D&D more. It's why I played Baldur's Gate 3, and I is one of my favorite games of all time. It's why I got into Rogue Trader, which is an amazing Warhammer game, by the way. You should definitely try it. And I still need to finish the damn game. But yeah. Anyway, so like overall, those stories, I have good memories in all of those groups. Um, but I I reminisce about those stories because in all the things that I want to do, when I want to grow my YouTube, when I want to stream on Twitch, when I want to help grow the Discord, it's all in an attempt to make a community. Not exactly a big one, but just a community, a somewhat big community, but like big enough to where there's a lot going on, but it's still small enough for you to keep track of everyone. Now that's just a me thing, like trying to be humble with my goals. It's not like if we blow up, I'm gonna be like, oh no, it's too big. We need to start cutting people off. No, no, no. But it's like in my goals of wanting to make a community, this problem of me forgetting how to meet new people is really starting to become very apparent, and I need to train myself to break that barrier and to go out there at some point and meet some new people. Get that training going. Get to talking to people more. Because when I did do it, it was fun. Even in the bad times, it was still worth doing. It was still something worth doing. So I guess I leave all these stories as like an example for whoever's watching this to for you to reflect on. You know, maybe some of these stories ring true to a memory that you have of meeting new people, and maybe this will help encourage you to meet some others, or maybe you have met some others, and you can leave some advice on uh, how to make that easier on me. I certainly appreciate it. But with all that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope the rest of your week goes well. I will see you this weekend with a Space Marine X Helldiver video. With I'm a freaking figure it out. There isn't gonna be a there isn't gonna be a cape for the freaking Hell Marine, so that will be sad. Maybe I'll make another video where the Hell Marine has a cape. But that being said, without further ado, I shall bid you all adieu.